Alright guys, Dad Dash here, and wanted to come to you with a video today talking about, obviously, the still very hot topic of Top Dasher. And I wanted to let you, give you a few thoughts here. I've changed a few thoughts. I wanted to react to, I watched the Pedro live with Sin City, which is obviously the one that a lot of us have been, and myself included, have been talked about and raised concerns about what was going on. So first thing about that, I want to get out of the way right away, is one of the concerns I raised was about the paying aspect. And I think he really, go back and watch that. Anybody concerned about that should watch that, because I myself am no longer worried about it if everything he said is accurate and correct as far as what he's charging, why he's doing it, and everything. And just to summarize what he said, he is charging a fee for his time to talk to and share his thoughts, strategies, and methods. He's not charging for secrets. He's not charging for information that he says is not there. He says it's all there on his Discord. I've been to his Discord, and I do see them posting at least screenshots. I haven't seen the charts and things that he has, but again, those are not necessarily secrets. Those are just information that he says helps you to find hidden tips. But essentially what he's saying is it's a quick way for someone to say, hey, I'm giving you $40 for your time for a week, have access to you for a week to help me learn all about DoorDash in a very quick way. And if that's what's going on, I have no problem with it. And I wanted to just clarify that right away, that I'm changing my position there, that, you know, he has a right, obviously, if he is spending time with somebody who wants to get, who's asking him as a teacher to teach them what he does, there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that, you know, it's something that we all have to kind of, you know, if that's what's going on. I was under the impression this was like a $40 a week subscription, and he was giving you tricks and things in claiming to people that he knew things and strategies and stuff about the algorithm. And that's not, it does not seem to be what it is. At least that's not what he said. If it is that, I have no problem with it. But so I wanted to just clarify that right away, right out of the gate. You know, I don't have a problem with that aspect anymore after hearing him. And again, I was given some bad information, or not really given, but I was hearing information. It was good that I think that he went public and talked about it, because I think it really did clarify some things. So I'm happy he did that. So number two, the most important part of this video that I want to get into is really about Top Dasher, and whether or not it's something that, you know, something that is truly sustainable, and what the truth is about this whole Top Dasher business is, and what I want you to think about. And again, my purpose here, and I think the purpose of any YouTube channel, should be to get people to think. So I want you to think about this, right? I want you to think about what DoorDash is doing here and why they're doing it. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this right out of the gate. Here's the issue right now. I believe, and this is the math of the situation, okay? I want you to think of like an hourglass, okay? And when you're thinking of the situation in the landscape of DoorDash. Right now, we have a scenario where the predominant strategy that's been spoken about on YouTube, or anybody who has experience with gig apps, specifically DoorDash, will speak about and say that the right way to make money is to cherry pick, and that you are to develop your own standards, and then wait for those in order to meet those standards, decline, because DoorDash, of course, has said that they, you know, well, not DoorDash, but they can't legally terminate you from being available to get orders as an independent contractor for simply saying, I'm not going to take that contract. They can't require you to take a contract because you are not an employee. So thereby, people have said you should not take an order until it meets the criteria that works for you, whatever that is. And there's lots of creators and people out there who have told you for their market what that criteria is, or for their personal needs what that criteria is. So that's where we stand right now. And DoorDash, of course, is trying to do everything in their power to try to figure out how they can, without having to make people employees and go through having the expense of employing people to try to make people feel like they're employees and feel obligated to take whatever order at whatever price they want to offer, how they can get somebody to take those orders and do so on a more regular basis, thereby making it seem, without being considered being deceptive, that you need to take a certain amount of the orders that they're offering you. And that's where that's where the fight is right now and has been. And for the most part, the public perception when the cherry pickers were winning. DoorDash was looking bad. DoorDash was looking greedy. So DoorDash has said, you know what, we've got to figure something out. And what they figured out is that they understand that a lot of people that are coming to DoorDash, especially if they're coming full-time or they've lost their job and they're trying to supplement income, number one, they have a very employee-based mentality. So they know that they want to tap into that. And they also know that people naturally will always want to feel like they're not missing out on something. So what they've created is they said, you know what? We have larger orders. And while we can't deny people the right to take an order or look at an order, we certainly have control over what order somebody sees. So they decided, well, what we can do is decide that we will show people larger orders first based on their acceptance rate. And we can program the algorithm to do so. And they understand that at first, especially knowing that there's such a robust YouTube community, that there's going to be people that are going to say, you know what, I'll try being a top dasher for a while. Or maybe they're already top dashers, and they're going to suddenly see an increase in the quality of orders. And they knew that that was going to end up causing people to report on that and say, whoa, holy cow, I'm seeing better orders than ever. And I'm earning more than ever, which would then cause dashers to come out and say, wait a minute. At first, some people would just be like, okay, I'm earning more, that's great. Eventually, some people are going to put two and two together, and then they're going to go out and they're going to announce it. They're going to use it to grow their YouTube channels. They're going to use it to bring more awareness to it. And as a result, eventually, people will say, you know what, how do I do this? How do I get to see the orders you're seeing? And they're going to explain, I'm Top Dasher. Well, what's Top Dasher? Top Dasher 70%. Also, there's a high-paying order program now. Keep your acceptance rate at 50 and 70%. And people are going to go there, do it, and report results. They knew this. The issue at hand is not right now, right? Right now, if you understand that, eyes open going forward, that right now, this is what DoorDash is trying to do. And that in the event that DoorDash is successful in flipping the hourglass, so to speak, and flipping things on its head. Like right now, we have probably 15% of people, maybe less than 15%, who are top dasher, who have a high acceptance rate. And if DoorDash is successful, they want to flip it around and have it 70 to 80% are competing for top dasher with an over 50% acceptance rate, and then have the 10 to 15% be the people with lower than a 50% acceptance rate. But when that happens, because DoorDash has done nothing to at this point increase large orders or encourage customers to take larger orders, nor do they really have any influence over how large the orders are. They will simply have influence over what you see when you see it. Then eventually they know that once they flip that hourglass, and once they've got people believing that they're missing out on something by allowing their acceptance rate to drop, they will then have effectively won, because that people will be taking more and more orders against their own value judgment, and they will be go from making more to making less. And that's what's going to end up happening in the end. And I want you all to think about the math. I want you all to think of it just like I just said. It's the hourglass. When they flip the hourglass and everything has effectively fallen down, and they've not increased a large order program, they've not done anything to increase the volume of large orders, all they're doing right now is wanting to get more people there, and they're wanting to create the idea that you're missing out on something if you're not keeping your acceptance rate at 50% or better. And then that's going to keep people there. And inevitably, people will end up having to take more lowball orders that do not make a value sense. Now, you may say, Steve, why do you care about what other people are doing? And it's not that obviously I care about what's going on with my business and with my money. So this really, it does have an effect and it doesn't. This could have a very bad effect, not right now, but maybe a year from now, if people really do buy into this. And you could actually probably see the cherry pickers end up having a problem, because there will be no big orders and we will end up having to move over to other apps or other things. But we will do that, because if you're a cherry picker, you're probably a multi-apper, and if you're a multi-apper, then you're going to move around to where the money's at. And if it's not at DoorDash, I'll move over to Grubhub, I'll move over to Uber Eats, I'll move over to Spark, I'll move over to Amazon Flex, I'll move over to Instacart. I'll go where the money's at that makes sense for my time. And I have a firm belief there will always be an app that will be there that will be able to pay me what I need to go out and work. So, you know, I'm not loyal to DoorDash. I don't care if I work for DoorDash. I don't care if I get another DoorDash order. If DoorDash can't send me an order that meets my value, I won't go work for DoorDash anymore for the rest of my time. So I'm not really worried about that. But what I am worried about is to me, the YouTube is about sharing information and sharing thoughts. And I want people to think about this, because I want them to think about what, you know, that I don't want somebody to be doing things. You know, my hope is that we help each other. So if I'm doing something, I want someone out there to put a video out that makes me think, and I want to put out a video to make you think. And that's the point of this video. It's not meant to be calling people out or say you're stupid for doing this or dumb for doing this, because whatever works for you, if you're making your money and you're making your goals, okay, fine, great, do what you do. But I want you to think about this for a minute, because you've got to make sure that you're thinking independently. And that is something that's key. You cannot be thinking like DoorDash wants you to think. You have to independently think about what's independently good for you and make sure you're constantly changing. And right now it might be a good thing. Right now it might be great to ride out the Top Dasher bubble, so to speak, because the faster you get there, and if your market is one that's really benefiting from it, you're going to probably make more money for the time being. But the moment you start to see the income dip, the moment you start to see where it seems like, all right, we were at highs, now we're going to mid, now we're starting to drop, you need to go back and readjust your strategy, because that's going to be the sign that you're probably oversaturated and that DoorDash has succeeded in what they're trying to do, which is to oversaturate the 50% and above acceptance rate category. And if they achieve that, and I'm not saying they will, because I'm hopeful that a lot of people are accustomed to cherry picking, and I think when they get up there, if they're not seeing a significant difference, that's going to cause people to go right back to what they were doing. And hopefully we start getting that pressure to go back, you know, that puts pressure to go back to what works, and DoorDash doesn't succeed here. And the people that are there right now, yes, they will make a lot of money, they will make good money, and that's great for them. But if you're not learning the skills of multi-apping, cherry picking, and figuring out how to select orders, you're going to be behind the 8 ball, I think, in the end. But anyways, guys, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with at least one person. And guys, I'll be talking to you soon. I've got to go in here and grab this order. Talk to you in a little bit.